Hello, I'm Precious Swain Peaks, owner of Anointed for Prosperity Bookkeeping and Book. I am an accountant and a tax professional. I have been in business a little over 30 years, and I come today to explain the importance of having an accounting system when you have a nonprofit. I understand that starting out, money is slightly funny, that the fees to get your paperwork done sometimes are a little costly, especially if you have someone else do it. That you don't automatically start out with grants and donations, that a lot of times you're starting it out of your own pocket. So you may not be in a situation where you can afford an accountant or even a bookkeeper. You may be starting out in a place where you have to do it yourself, which is totally understandable. But it is very important that from day one, you start out with an accounting system. This could be done via spreadsheet. It could be done in a basic book format, like a general journal and a general ledger. It's okay even if you have to use a spiral notebook. But there has to be some type of format that you use to keep track of what you spend, and eventually when the money starts coming in, what comes in and what it's spent on in detail. This makes a huge difference later on in the process. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is you can use both go to wave.com or freshbooks.com, and they have free software available. At the end of this, I will post a link where if you don't feel comfortable hopping directly into software, there are spreadsheets available that you can use at no cost to go ahead, and it's set up where you can just immediately begin to input your data. I personally recommend for businesses that don't have a bookkeeper or an accountant, QuickBooks, because QuickBooks, even though it has a cost, is extremely user friendly and extremely efficient. The other thing is, no matter how you put it in and how bad you may have messed it up, when you get to the point where you can hire a bookkeeper or an accountant, you can simply invite them into your QuickBooks and they can put it all in order and clean it all up for you. When you start your nonprofit, uh, we're going to skip past the planning stage and hop right into when you begin to file for your nonprofit incorporation and your exemption from the federal government. Both of these things have fees. These fees are directly part of your nonprofit setup and should be included in your beginning bookkeeping. It's founder, board member, investment. It needs to be there. If you pay someone else to do this paperwork for you versus you doing it yourself, that needs to be included also. The one point I want to make sure that you all understand, both new and existing, is one of the highest reasons that nonprofits lose their exempt status is due to failing to file their 990s. If you miss 3 years of filing your 990, whether it's the 990 Easy or the full form, you will lose your exempt status. So why is that important? It's important because for one, you want to keep your exempt status. For two, you will get the information you need for your 990 or your 990 Easy directly from your accounting system, your spreadsheet, your software, or your accountant themselves. If you have a bookkeeper or an accountant, they, in most cases, will file your 990 or your 990 Easy for you. So that helps guarantee that it will be in on time, definitely not late, because they will have all the information needed without having to contact you to be able to file that on your behalf. Having an accounting system is also very important because when you begin to apply for grants, when you begin to go to banks for loans, when you have situations like where the EIDL and the PPP come up, they ask for certain information. Your well-kept bookkeeping system, you will be able to see at a glance in real time where you are financially in your nonprofit. This is very, very important because when people are looking to give you money of any type, they kind of want to know how you're handling the money that you already have. How much is coming in? How much is going out? What is your budget looking like? Are you in the red? Are you in the green? They want to know what's going on before they give you this money. In most cases, those of you who applied for EIDLs um, during over the past year and a half have learned that it may have been pretty a very simplified application. And then after you got the loan, maybe 3, 4, even 6 months, you began to get emails asking you for certain documentation, asking you for certain information that for some who had a system were able to just download and send. But for others who had no system in place, now you're scrambling to pull all this together. Having an accounting system cancels the scrambling. You're not scrambling anymore. You're simply going, click, boom, this is where I'm at. If you're using a software, the Wave, the FreshBook, the QuickBooks, even without an accountant or a bookkeeper, you have the ability to, in real time, pull your financial statements. Your financial statements would include your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet. These two are your main ones. There are other reports, and they all each have their own importance, but your balance sheet, your profit and loss, and your payroll reports you will find very important in helping you gauge your financial health of your nonprofit. These things are important when you're trying to see what you have to work with and what you don't have to work with. If you know that the bills to run every month are $2,000 and you're looking and all you have is $2,000 in the bank, you know two things. One, you got to find some money. Two, you can't buy anything extra because you need that $2,000 to continue to operate. If you have no system and you're all over the place, then you don't really know where you stand to be able to make a solid plan to keep going. Because yes, there will be donations. Yes, there will be in-kind donations that you also want to keep track of. For those who aren't sure of what an in-kind donation is, it is where someone donates to you items versus cash. They may donate food, furniture, clothing, toys, books, things that you need to operate. So now you don't have to buy it because they've given it to you. You still need to track the monetary value of these in kind donations because one, every year at the end of the year, just in time for tax season, you need to send out a statement to your contributors that contribute to you in kind donations, the monetary value of their donation so they can keep it on their taxes. Even those who contribute maybe monthly or weekly, you're going to need to have a track of that so that you can send them a statement and they can claim it on their taxes. Because over a certain dollar amount, they must have the actual proof to be able to claim it. So you don't want to just be putting in donation $10. If this is a donation from someone and you know who the someone is, you're going to want to track it with their name. If you have their address, you're going to want to keep all of this information so that when you go in, You have Bank of America contributed $50 a month. Susie Homemaker contributed $10 a month. These things need to be tracked. Your accounting system will provide you a way to be able to track. Even if you're using an Excel sheet, you'll be able to put this information in, hit your filters to take it to each specific person. It will auto sum for you. It will make it a lot easier. But those who do not have a system in place ultimately fail. The average lifespan of a nonprofit is between 3 to 5 years. It's really not that long because most of them don't want to put in the work or don't have the means to put in the work to keep it afloat. Starting out with a accounting system puts you in a position where you see what you need financially to continue to maintain and stay afloat. Not just to stay afloat, but also how to grow. Because once you see how your money flows in and out, where your money goes when it goes out, where your money comes from, where it comes in, you can create plans in order to increase the amount coming in and even lower the amount going out. I'll give you a really quick example. Nonprofit B caters to assisting domestic violence victims. Part of what they do is they arrange for places for them to stay if the shelter is full. If you have an accounting system, you're keeping track of every time you've paid for a hotel room, which hotels you've used, what each of them costs. So now you can look and you can say, okay, maybe it's more cost effective for me to rent an apartment at $1,000 a month and be able to rotate them in and out of there because when I look at it, I'm spending $2,000 a month on hotel rooms. It helps you to look and formulate and make a plan that not only helps you save money, but also helps you leverage the quality of the service that you give your clients. The other thing that I would highly suggest is once you move to a point where you can afford help, get help. Pay a bookkeeper, pay an accountant. Let me explain why. Unfortunately, in the nonprofit arena, there are people that will come in and work within your office that will, unfortunately, steal your money. Sometimes they don't even mean to. They have full intention of putting it back before you realize it's gone, but it's there. It's really not accounted for. You don't know what's coming in or going out. They're handling everything, and here's what happens. They begin to spend your money. They begin to misappropriate your funds. When you have a company that's bonded, that's insured, that's responsible and accountable to someone other than themselves for handling your books, that don't necessarily have the ability to touch your money, they have the ability to tell you when something is wrong. Immediately, they're able to tell you, hey, this doesn't look right. You might need to check it. So I encourage you to, if nothing else, even if it's just a notebook, if an Excel sheet, to have some type of accounting system. Because if you do not have uh, good financial health, your nonprofit will eventually join the list of those that have crashed and burned. It is very important in order to run to know where you are financially. If any of you need any assistance, my consultations are free. I am definitely here to help. Even if you mention that you were in the nonprofit CEO conference, I will give a 10% discount. But I would like to see all of you become financially healthy. So you can reach out, of course, on my website at anointedforprosperity.com. Click free consult. Let's see where you are. Let's see where you need to be to get balanced and to get situated. If it's a situation where your budget is low, please don't hesitate to reach out because during that consult, we will find a way for you to be able to keep your books balanced on your own in a very cost effective manner. Reaching out does not make you committed to come on with our firm, but we would definitely like to assist as many as we can to find their niche in where they are financially and to cultivate, grow your garden, balance out everything, cut out the weeds, keep the fruit, and grow. Again, my name is Precious Wayne Peace. I am the owner of Anointed for Prosperity Bookkeeping and more. And my prayer is that all of you grow.